Hey, everybody. So, we have been talking for these last several days about being single, living single, having the joy of living single, and knowing how to love yourself. And my premise is that if we learn to love ourselves, then it's easier to love other people. Whether it's good morning, Sandy, whether it's, loving your spouse, loving a mate, loving your children, loving your parents, loving friends. So what occurred to me was, I'm so in love with myself. That sounds really vain, but I really do love who I am. But I realized that there's a lot of people who don't really know what love is. And so, we all say, I love you, I love you, I love you, oh, I love you. I remember when I was way back when in high school, and I'm on the phone at my job. I'm on a little 15-minute break. And guys, this is when we had payphones. And so I'm on the payphone talking to my new boyfriend, and he says, I love you. And I thought, like I remember making this face on the phone because I'm thinking, how can you love me? You don't really even know me. And so I realized that we are quick to say, I love you. We are quick to say those words to people that we actually may lust after, that, we might want to gain something from. My hands itching, money's coming. Sidetrack. But we are quick to use those words, but do we even know what it means to put those words into action? What does it mean when you say, I love you? What are we supposed to do? I'm going to read something to you right quick, and then I'm going to go back to why we mess up with love, okay? So, first of all, we all know about the love story and about the definition and characteristics of love from the Bible, right? So, it says love is patient, love is kind, and I'm reading from 1 Corinthians 13, right? Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hope all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Okay? That's characteristics of love. You might have heard it said that the greatest commandment given by Jesus was to love the Lord our God with all our heart, all our mind, all our soul, all our strength, and love thy neighbor as thyself. See, that's a problem. And I'm going to tell you why it's a problem. It's a problem because many of us don't know what we believe about God or a higher power. We don't know if we believe in a higher power. I remember working with someone who said that she believed in Satan and she worshiped Satan. And I love working with clients like that because it's a challenge for me, right? Because they don't have the same way of thinking that I do. So I want to enlighten them and I want them to enlighten me. But what was really interesting was that she believed in Satan because she felt like Satan protected her from being hurt. She had been hurt many, many times by people, by family members. And so she believed that Satan was protecting her. She also believed that she could call on Satan and say, hey, I want you to go and hurt this person. And she would see it happen. What she didn't understand was that Satan was also hurting her. I mean, she was having like really rough nights and total fear, and in her mind, she saw monsters attacking her, right? Or coming to attack her, or telling her to do really bad things. And so it was hard for her to make that connection of the very person that she said she believed in was also causing her pain. Guys, isn't this what we go through in relationships? We've been talking before about abusive relationships. She was in an abusive relationship with Satan. Many of us enter into abusive relationships with the devil here on earth, right? Where we have an abusive spouse, right? And we continue in that relationship because we think that is love. You know, when I started this story about her and Satan, you might have thought I was crazy, but translate it to yourself. Think about an abusive relationship that you have been in, that you think this person loves you and you love them. And you're not equating all the pain that they bring to you. You're not equating all the physical abuse that is going on in your relationship, the emotional abuse. And I'm not just talking about women being abused. I'm talking about men being abused too, right? You know, think about a person who's always cheating on you. That's abuse, guys. I mean, why would we stay in that relationship when you can't trust that person? I heard Jimmy Evans on Sunday say, you don't marry a person if you don't trust the person, right? And I know too many people that get married and they don't trust the person. I see it happen all the time. I see people committing their lives to someone that they don't even know if they can trust their lives with that person. Do you see how this relates to love? Do you see how this relates to not being able to love yourself? That's why it's so important that we talk about this. And I'm going to spend some time on this today because I really want to break it down for you. So if we don't know if we can love God, if we don't even know what relationship we have with God, we don't know if we can love Him with our minds, because maybe our minds are messed up. Our strength, maybe we don't have a lot of strength. Maybe we're really weak at times, right? With all our hearts are so broken. They're so broken. How can I give my heart to someone that I can't even see? When I give my heart to people that I do see and my heart gets trampled upon and stumped and broken, right? It's hard to say and believe that I can love God that I don't really know a lot about. Well, guys, if you don't know, then learn, then date, right? I like what Jimmy Evans said. If you don't trust that person, continue to date that person until you do trust them. We talked the other day about dating yourself, to learn to love yourself, because I want you to learn to know you. I want you to learn to know the characteristics of you, your likes, your dislikes, your strengths, your weaknesses. You know, what is it that draws you to another person? I was reading a book last night on leadership, and it asked me to list one person that I felt like was some person that I admire, right? And I actually listed 3 people. I listed Tom Berry, and I listed Kevin Patton, and I listed Robert Morris, who is a pastor of a church in Dallas, Texas. And it asked me to write down the characteristics that I liked about those people. Well, the first thing that popped in my mind was these guys are really, really smart. And then I kind of got into their characteristics of they're giving people. I mean, like they just give to others so much. And they're always positive and smiling and happy. And what I realized when I was writing those characteristics down, that's characteristics that I admire in myself, right? That I'm an honest person, that I'm trustworthy, right? Well, how do you know that about yourself if you don't learn about yourself? So I said earlier, the great commandment is love thy God with all thy heart, all thy mind, all our soul, all our strength, and love thy neighbor as thyself. Again, we have a problem. How can I love my neighbor as thyself when I don't even love myself? Do you see? I mean, ask yourself this question. Do you love yourself? And when you say yes, How do I show myself that I love myself? How do you take care of you? For example, I juice. I love to juice on Monday through Friday. That's taking care of myself, guys. It's taking care of my inner being so that I can be healthy, right? Yes, that's not all the time that I'm that healthy. Yesterday I had also a huge piece of chocolate cake with strawberry frosting on it. And my heart told me that it was wrong because of all the caffeine. My heart was doing this. Okay, I can't eat chocolate cake like that, right? So I know I'm taking care of me. I go to the gym. Do I always want to go to the gym? No, I don't, but I do, right? So I need to learn how to take care of me and love me and put that into action. Words mean nothing without action. How many times do people say, "Oh, I have this goal. Oh, I have this dream. Oh, I'm going to do this." And they do nothing. They just sit and procrastinate. And then they're angry that their life is just still and not moving and that they haven't achieved any goals. We have to have action. Love is the same thing. You have to have action behind your words. How can you say "I love you" to a person and you don't show them in actions? Okay? All right. I feel like I'm preaching, and I don't mean to preach. I'm so sorry. But this is such a passionate subject for me because I want you guys to get there. All right. I'm going to end it by saying this today. If you're struggling with this, we are here. Gateway to Counseling. We are here. We're only $49 a session, guys. We now take Anthem EAP, and we're working on some other insurance providers as well. It takes a little while to get credentialed with them, but we're working on it because now insurance companies allow us to bill for online counseling. Yay! That's awesome. So our website, though, is not just for people who want counseling. We have so many resources, so many blogs and videos. And if you need a resource, go there and look at all the material we have put on there to help you, to guide you. I'm lastly going to recommend a book. You know, I love to read. And so someone's calling me. I'll call them back. I'm going to recommend that you read Dr. David Hawkins. The book is Letting Go, because I believe that we have so much pain in our life that we don't know how to let that go. I talked the other day about forgiveness. We have to forgive ourselves for mistakes that we've made. We have to forgive our parents, because the last thing that I have not talked about is a lot of this, guys, come from our past. I'm so sorry, but it does. You know, we were raised certain ways. We experienced certain things. Many of us were sexually abused, physically abused. You know, we were bullied at school. We were taunted. You know, all these things that happened to us as children, and we never learned to overcome them. And so we learned to start attaching to really unhealthy relationships. Last little story. I had a client, male client, who he and his wife engaged in some really dangerous behaviors sexually. And they were both college educated, master's degree, and had some really good jobs. And they got their thrills from prostituting. She was a prostitute, and high-end prostitute in Washington, D.C. And you know, it was fun for them, apparently, but then it became a real struggle for them. She experienced a lot of physical issues because of that, because of the things that she was doing, and he experienced a lot of psychological issues. But what came out of it was that when he was just a little boy, he had been sexually abused. What his wife also didn't know was that he went both ways. He liked men and women. His wife didn't know that. And so, all of that stemmed from his past. And it stemmed from him witnessing sexual acts between his mother and others. And, that's a lot to overcome, guys. It is a lot to overcome. And I don't know if you can overcome that on your own. I'm just going to be honest with you. If you can, please send us a message, post something here so we can see that. I would love to hear it. But I really think when we have that much that has happened to us in the past, many of us learn to just stuff it down and keep going. We suppress and we keep going, but it pops up because we don't know how to love. We're thinking we have to love in those abusive ways. This man loves his wife, but they are in such a bad relationship where he don't trust her, and I don't know how much she trusts him. She probably wouldn't trust him at all if she knew what he was doing behind her back with other men, right? So I'm saying that we are here. Gateway to Counseling, we are here. Only $49 a session. I hope we can help you to learn to love, right? Learn to love thyself. Learn to love thy neighbor. Learn to love thy higher power. Thank you guys so much. And hey, welcome New Zealand. I love you guys. Bye-bye.